Now I'd like to talk about the operational controls in this optical stabilization system. I earlier described the many different shooting conditions that can create different types of disturbances, vibrations, etc. And of course, that can be unpredictable. And you can have combinations of wind, vibrations, movement of the camera operator all together. So it's very, very difficult to anticipate every single condition and have the system optimized. So we provide a number of controls that allow the operator to intervene, if you will, and set adjustments depending on the particular shooting environment. First thing we provide is an on-off switch. Do you wish to engage the optical stabilization system? If you don't, you switch it off. The second switch, operational switch we have, is labeled effects. And then under that you'll see two positions labeled V, that means vertical correction only, or you slide it to the other position is labeled H plus V, that's horizontal and vertical correction. And the decision making here is as follows. If you're hand holding the camera, we would recommend that you switch to the H plus V. You get both corrections. If you're shoulder mounting and moving, walking, running, most of the disturbance is going to be vertical. Switch to V. You get the maximum correction against vertical disturbances. If, on the other hand, the lens camera is tripod mounted, and let's say you're framing, no panning, no tilting, you switch it to H plus V, get maximum correction against vibrations of a platform or wind blowing. But if you're going to do pans, we would recommend switch to V. Now, under any of these circumstances, if you are encountering a combination of disturbances and you want to do a pan or a tilt, there is a momentary button here where you just squeeze that, and while you hold that down, you disengage the stabilization while you pan or tilt. And then the moment you let go, it's engaged again. So these are choices offered, sometimes depending on the particular circumstances. The worst I can think of is a boat that's bouncing up and down on the waves and vibrating at the same time, and you're hand holding the camera. You may need to do a little experimenting between some of these settings to get the optimum correction. But under general circumstances, the correction's very, very good. Now, when I say the correction's very, very good, let me put some facts on that. The diagram I'm now showing is a curve, as you can see. And what that's showing you is frequency from about 1 hertz up to the 11 or 12 hertz. That's where most of the disturbances and vibrations will take place. And on the vertical axis, we're assuming a disturbance jolting the lens and camera is moving the image by some amount, and we normalize that to 100%. And then what this curve is telling you is that that disturbance will be reduced to what you can see on the curve here at the different frequencies, about 1%. In other words, it's about 100-to-1 correction of an inadvertent image displacement. Almost in real time, corrected 100-to-1. Now, what that really means, of course, you have to see when you exercise the lens itself, but it's very, very impressive. Those who have used it are extremely impressed with the stabilization performance. Another measurement of the performance of the stabilization system is shown in this diagram. Now, what we're showing here is if you're looking at the high-definition video monitor, the correction's not on, and there's some disturbance taking place. We can do full correction at telephoto, which is where things are most troublesome in terms of image unsteadiness. If that image was shifting up to 80% of the vertical height, we can correct that completely. If it's moving towards 50%, about 47% of the horizontal width, we can correct that. That's a large amount of image unsteadiness that we can correct. When you go wide angle, where image unsteadiness is not so troublesome, that range of correction is reduced. It's about 6%, plus or minus 6% in the vertical direction, plus or minus 3% in the horizontal direction. So you can see that the range of adjustment is quite considerable, and the amount of reduction of the unsteadiness, about 100 to 1, is very impressive.